Howdy, howdy. Welcome to the Do Good Letter. Talking about The Handmaid's Tale, Season 4, Episode 4. If you have not watched the show, get out of here because there's going to be spoilers and possibly spoiled milk. Yeah, you want to leave because I'm probably not going to quit now. Let me type in the chat. There will be spoilers and spoiled milk. I'm so clever. All right. So I'm just going to talk to myself for a little bit here because I really want to. Episode 4, everyone's talking about, what happens with June and her kind of, not breakdown at the end, but her having put her guard down, thinking that she was no longer going to have to do things physically with her body that she did not want to do. And then, hey, the dude's like, ask after grass, nobody rides for free. So her kind of defeat in that, and I think defeat in herself and her inability to be the tough guy again and just kind of through it. Yes, everyone's talking about that. But what I'm most excited about is the conversation that occurred in the milk tank. I was reading about symbolism in Handmaid's Tale and learned about motifs, which I'm still learning about. So it's more an untangible theme throughout a book, movie, whatever, I believe. So in this particular case of The Handmaid's Tale, motifs are doubles. Doubles being when they walk in pairs to and from anywhere, because handmaids can't walk alone. Being reflections of the past, like the previous handmaid that lived in the Waterford home before June was posted there. And Janine, there's a particular person who I was listening to. Her name is, let me find, she's on YouTube, MrsABLiterature. The link should be in the chat. I'm not quite sure how to put a description right now, but I can learn that too some other time. Oh, hey, you see my cardboard back there. Ooh. But do you see my vintage almanac from the 1800s? Cause I'm cooler than you. Hey, 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 hey. So, this is AB Literature motifs, and she talked about Janine being one, a representation of all handmaids in the stages that they went through, but also Janine's doppelganger. It would be, well, she says it better than I, right? Let's see if I can pull this up. I'm trying to learn how to screen share. How do I do it? I do not know. Oh, share. Share screen. Yes, I understand, but I don't have two monitors. So I'd like to show my Chrome tab. And I'd like to share the, so hopefully you can see that and see me. Oh, you can, don't I look professional? So I'm going to click back and now I won't be able to see you seeing me, seeing this, seeing that. But she goes on, I believe it is the third bullet point down. maybe I can make it bigger. I have no idea what it's going to look like on your side. But it says, Janine is the double of Offred as she offers a grim and dreadful warning of what might happen if she gives up hope. She appears and reappears, showing various stages of a handmaid's career, willing victim at the Rachel and Leah Center, where she has a breakdown, to her triumph as pregnant off Warren, to her last appearance at the Particution, where she has clumps of bloody hair in her hands. Okay, I don't particularly remember all of that, like the bloody hands, clumpy hair, hands. I don't know. Remember the whole baby thing. But so that got me thinking of this scene with the milk tank. Okay, that's just what I'm calling it. I think we should hashtag that, make it a thing. Milk tank, not the drunk tank, the milk tank. It's completely different. Cool. Why I like this scene so much is, number one, I got it. I freaking got it. I figured it out. I learned something and it stuck in my brain and it came out. And I'm gonna on you right now. So, learned from English 101 at my wonderful community college. What's up? Love you guys. Water being submerged is a symbol of rebirth. How the main character comes out of being submerged in water, and Beowulf comes to mind when I think of this. But in this particular case, with the milk tank, if a character is rescued out of the water, that kind of is foreshadowing about how they are going to get through future conflicts. If they can't make it out on their own, then they're not going to be very victorious in the next struggle on their own. So I was particularly watching how they were going to get out of that tank. First of all, I was like, yeah, even not just will June be able to get out of there on her own, or will she need help? But how the hell are they getting out of there? They've got nowhere to go. They've got nowhere to hide. If people stop, if the train stops and the guards come, like, peekaboo. No, you have nowhere to hide. The milk's all gone. How do you? Anyway, so that was one. But I didn't know how they would get out, right? But then I was looking not just for the physical how, but if they were going to need help, going again to the foreshadowing of future conflicts. So I saw that June needed help from Janine. She needed her hands so she could boop right up, shoot some ladders. And then Janine also needed help. So I was like, cool, they're going to need each other in the future. They're going to both have to rely on each other. And as we all know, if you've seen the rest of the episode, that's what happens. They both kind of realize that they both can rely on each other. June realizes that she can rely on Janine, and she needs Janine. And that's kind of a turnaround. Back to doppelgangers, MrsABLiterature. You need to watch her video because she is a lot smarter than me. Doubles. I had someone I know that's actually a professor at a university around here. She has her doctorate in literature, and we were going over motifs. She was probably thrilled to death to talk to me about work-related stuff. So I continued to ask her questions, and she even explained the motif of doubles, like it's not even a mirroring of people. It's I don't want to say mirroring of yourself. I'm going to totally butcher, my friend's doctorate degree. Think of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They're like one person split into two, right? So when I was thinking about that and knowing that, thank you, MrsABLiterature, spelled out that Janine is June's doppelganger, I'm like, so she's having this conversation with herself. I think Janine represents the part of June that's scared, that's meek, that's weak, that has and doesn't work well during crises. Crises, yeah, because they multiple. I know words. But then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, who can't relate to this situation? They are having a conversation anytime in your life where you've gone through something. I kind of went through something recently where it was a little scary. Everyone's fine, but where I didn't react and respond the way that I thought I would in a situation, especially something regarding family members of mine. And afterward, I really beat myself up. Like, where is this kind of motherly instinct that I have felt before and thought I would feel in a situation like this and didn't? Who am I? Where I got mad at myself. Like, where were you? You let me down. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you come through for me? Is it starting to make sense now, the conversation between Janine and June? Yeah, it did for me too. You're welcome. Actually, no. Thank you, MrsABLiterature, because without her, I would have not. I really need to see if I can sign up for some of her courses so I can pronunciate with the right emphasis on the right syllable. I just majorly geeked out throughout that whole scene and tried to look up different articles of anybody else talking about it, and nobody was. So apparently I'm a genius and everyone else isn't. So that's why there's no one here. I mean, who could keep up with this train of thought? I know I can't. That's how smart I am. I don't even understand myself. Yeah. So I'll just kind of go on and read here. Again, her symbolism things are symbolism things. I'm so great with words. Really need to check out that video if you are interested in symbolism of specifically the Handmaid's Tale. Still haven't read the book, but read everything about the book. Someone's talking about, no, I don't. I'm not stuck with ideas. I have a lot of ideas. Thank you. Too many, in fact. Just ask my husband. Okay. I'm looking for an article that describes better than I about water, especially being submerged in water throughout literature. And it's just not going so well for me. What? Nope, no one here to add to the stream. I'm gonna message a person or two. Help? Anybody? Help? So what's everybody been doing today? I've been preparing for this. Again, last time I hummed, YouTube like kicked me off. Can't even hum. It's like we're in the Republic of Gilead. All right, cool. Since I'm by myself, I'll just chatty McChatterson away. Water, rebirth, literature. Man, I wish I had all of my notes from English. I am sorry, Professor Baker and that other Professor chick, I cannot remember your name. All right, I'm just going to add the screen and we're just going to wing it. Have I stopped sharing that screen yet? Who knows? Oh, let's see here. Oh, I think I realized what I did. What does water symbolize in literature? Well, friends, what water symbolizes in literature? Says, most often water represents cleansing, life, and freedom. Water is a contextual symbol in literature, however, meaning that it, oh my goodness, don't make fun of people who can't read on the internet, because all of a sudden you'll be doing a live by yourself about the symbolism of water and you won't be able to read, okay? Karma's a thing, so is Jesus. So water is a contextual symbol in literature, however, meaning that it can symbolize many things depending on how it is used in a novel or a story. Often the type of water in a story or a novel is just as important as the fact that water is used as a symbol. Rivers often represent the flow of life and fertility. Rivers are typically used as symbols by authors because rivers flow. They have really good. They are constantly moving and they follow a distinct path. Oceans, on the other hand, like in Moana, because of their scope in relation to the earth, often represent obstacles or abysses from which things emerge or that characters must journey across to reach a destination, like kicking Maui's ass. Oceans are often symbolically mysterious places that can symbolize overcoming a great obstacle or being dragged down into deep depths by it. Like when they went and saw the crab, and he was like, "You aren't going to take my sparkle," and they're like, "You aren't the only one that can shine." Okay, Sebastian. So lakes are often used as symbols in tales in which characters face great decisions or much introspection. Maybe because they're still and you look out to it and it seems like infinity, but it's not. I mean, depending on where you are, my husband claims that lakes in Michigan are like oceans and whatever. So it's probably someone from Michigan that wrote that. Water generally cleanses, however, and it inevitably becomes a symbol of characters and stories handling difficult life scenarios. What did I tell you before? Not just a hat rack. In any case, water is a symbol of power in stories. It has the ability to free characters as well as claim them. That means dead. Oh, it doesn't talk about coming out. What did my teacher also talked about? My teacher, my professor. Oh my gosh, Shankshaw of Redemption. Is that it? I have literally only seen the clip of it at the end that she showed in class, that he went through a tunnel after he got out of or escaped from prison and kind of shot out in that little stream or whatever, and that symbolized his rebirth as well. So just kind of surprised that didn't mention it more. Hello.
Hey, I'm so sorry. I'm so late.
Sorry. I've been sitting here gabbing to myself, kind of having fun, honestly.
Yeah, I know how that goes. I've done that a number of times myself. Yeah, I ended up having an eye exam. I've been having eye problems lately, and I went to ask if I could make an appointment. The next thing I know, I'm in the chair. So I had to order glasses, the whole 9 yards. So
well, I guess it's good in a way, but
yeah. So
Done and over with.
I'm done. I'm done. So have you
I
been
was
talking
just
about the show or what?
yeah, I was talking about symbolism. Yes, I was originally talking about the show because I noticed that different articles that I read or different recaps that I watched didn't talk about the particular scene that made me most excited and may have made me most excited just because I feel like I got the symbolism and I would not have before if I hadn't read. Actually, I watched a video of someone called MrsABLiterature. I think she actually put it up for her classes, but I've been enjoying them for the symbolism of Handmaid's Tale, and explained that Janine is June's doppelganger.
Oh, yeah, that
And
would make sense.
she represents she represents the different stages of all the handmaids and what they go through, but she also represents what it would look like to June if she lost hope or just lost her mind and didn't focus.
Lost her mind. That's right, because Janine's the one we saw at first that just really embraced everything, it seemed like, after they poked her eye out.
Right. It was like a light switch, kind of. Oh, I
Yeah.
think I'm a badass. And then all of a sudden, oh, they're serious. They just took my eye out. This isn't a game.
It was interesting to see her backstory this week, though.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
It's going to be, but it was still pretty interesting to see.
It's probably the delay. I asked you, what did you think of her backstory?
I thought it was good. I thought her backstory was excellent, but it was exactly pretty much what I expected. And she'd talked about it enough, or we knew that. It was just kind of heartbreaking seeing her going and asking for an abortion at one of those crisis pregnancy centers where they're not going to give
Right.
you any information. And those things
I
do
didn't,
exist, and they're just about as like that.
and if that's someone's choice to go get some more information, but the fact, and I'm sure this occurs in real life, that it came up from a search or research that she did on finding an abortion clinic, and they weren't honest at all that that's not what they were and that's not what they were going to do.
I believe
I think you might be cutting out a little bit.
The most frustrating living in Costa Rica is the fact that my internet provider here very shortly that actually has fiber optic.
Yeah. I know, I think today on your stream, or I was watching and then it cut off all of a sudden. I was like, oh, her internet's probably gone. I'm going to wait just a second. I think you're back a little bit. You kind of are freezing in and out.
Back.
Internet is not always reliable. Okay. There you are. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Suzanne?
I can hear you just fine. I just can't see you.
Really?
There's no telling. I just wanted to say I think my internet is too insecure for me to be using tonight. It's
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I understand. I was saying that I saw earlier when I was in your chat on a stream that yours just kind of cut off.
Yeah. One of the problems here is that we are on ESA, which is all old copper wiring out on the road. We have fiber
Oh
optics all
my.
the way the road. The road has copper wiring. So I'm going to switch to the provider that's putting in fiber optics everywhere. So we're going to see.
Yeah.
Got to go Monday and sign all the paperwork.
Well, I hope that works out for you.
Yeah. So living in paradise.
Yeah. Pros and cons to everything. Well, do you want to keep trying to talk, or do you want to?
This is something that's on everybody's nerves. It's not working. It's just not working on my end, and it keeps cutting in and out. So
No
I think I'm
problem.
going to go and try it next week.
Okay, no
Okay.
problem.
Bye, everybody. This
Thank
is crazy.
you. Bye. She's in Costa Rica, so her internet, she says, is not always super reliable. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second, every no one. Let's see. I'm going to try. Oh, am I still sharing my screen? Let's see if I can just remove. Again, here's my vintage almanac. I know you're super jealous. One more thing. I loved learning about symbolism. Again, in college, I only took English 101 and 102. No, I didn't. I also took the in-depth American literature, hence why I have vintage almanacs. Again, thank you, Professor Baker. Okay, I thought I was going to have to beat someone up. I was talking to somebody online, and they were acting like they had one of the original Poor Richard's almanacs from Benjamin Franklin, but it's just a reproduction, so whatever. I don't have one either. I don't even have a reproduction, but still, I'm cooler than that person, so I don't have to beat him up. World saved. World saved. How do I share this live while I am in this live? I think I saw a TikTok video today about people reading like the live, love, laugh signs in their parents' house in a southern accent. That's pretty funny. Cool story, huh? Don't have any examples. Don't have any. All right, back to the Handmaid's Tale, season 4 recap. Yes, everyone not talking about the milk tank. Ridiculous. Best part. Don't care what you say. Janine aka June's other half, also got to let go of her kind of fears and insecurities. And I really think because she was out of a crisis situation, she was able to go back to her old self. I think that trauma, you're just whoever you have to be to get through it. And when she was out of it, she was able to remember who she was and felt safe enough to be who she was. And that's who she was again. And she had piece of bread. All in a day's work. Why can I not read? Yeah, I don't want to register before reading. I want to read for free. Are you kidding me? People thinking I'm going to pay for their intellectual. Yeah, I will. I'll pay for it. Let's see. Got Milk, because the episode is named Milk. I never see the titles of the show beforehand. I always see them after for some reason. And I'm very glad for that, because then I think I would get it, especially episode 3 was at Crossroads. I mean, that would have been a dead giveaway. I think I deserve an award for that one. I think I do. Nope, not going back to motifs. Where is the, nope, not going back to that. Yeah, the people who they thought were a part of Mayday, which is still so confusing to me, because I thought June was saying that there is no Mayday and we're all just Mayday, and Mayday lives inside your heart. But then she was telling Janine we're going to find Mayday, and then they weren't Mayday. So I'm kind of confused about that. I think it's pretty cool that she's deciding to go to Chicago so she can still kind of join the resistance and go grab Hannah. I mean, of course I would do that too, but gosh, how many times coming so close to being free and being able to be with your husband and one of your children, and not being able to go. It's almost like it's kind of better to not, it's kind of like when you're a parent and you have a newborn and you're getting to doze off to sleep when you put your newborn down, and you get just right into it, maybe 20-30 minutes in, and you're just, and then you have to wake up. You'd almost, and that keeps happening throughout the night, you'd almost rather just not get any sleep than relax, think that you're going to be able to do it, get in that deep state of sleep, and then have it jerked away from underneath you. And in that case, it's like from the side. Not for June, though. I mean, would a real leader, though, have been like one of the first? Wouldn't she have had her people go in front of her? I mean, I'm not criticizing. But for real, why the heck didn't they kill Aunt Lydia? Still pissed at that. Still pissed at that. So I'm gonna screen share this little ditty right here. Yes, I know, blah, blah. I don't have 2 monitors. Quit shaming me, StreamYard. You should put your little duck up there and you make fun of me because I only have 1 monitor. We'll go for this because this is what I'm looking at, I think. We see Gilead soldiers, and we're at about here, packing up a supply train. Chicago, June reminds June and us. Does she remind herself? I don't know. They're not giving up. And I thought that was kind of eye-opening too for June when they got into Chicago and looking around at everything. Like, yeah, they're at war. They're in a war zone. This isn't like when we went to even the other hidey hole places when she was with Nick in that office and they watched Friends and stuff like that. You are still in a watch your back, eat or be eaten situation. I know that's not the expression. I can't think of what it is. Now I know why, like, no one's watching me. What the hell, man? So I just thought it was interesting seeing June have that realization. I'm like, oh yeah, why wouldn't I think this was going to be a war zone? I wasn't really. I liked seeing more of Janine's backstory, but I thought that we had already heard or seen her backstory. So I'm kind of confused why. I guess just to have more understanding of her. But again, I thought that we already learned about her and knew that she had a son. Kind of revealed that as if it were shocking or something. Maybe I'm just a fortune teller. Oh, I didn't know little odds came in there too. That's kind of annoying. All right, I'm going to say remove so you can see this. Wouldn't want you to miss out on that stuff and things. I really wish I could figure out technology. I don't know if you hear it's bedtime. And so very ironic saying this. My husband is putting my kids to bed this evening. For those who know, don't act like I'm her, I'm not. Okay? Rude. We all know. So they're getting a bath right there. In a bathroom, not right here. That's a cabinet. It's not a bathtub. Are you okay? All right. I guess I'm getting desperate. And I'm gonna I know what I could do. I could read stuff off of the Handmaid's Tale Facebook thing. I can just, I mean, go big or go home, right? If nobody's here and I'm talking to myself, I'm gonna own it. I'm just gonna hang out with myself. No, I am awesome. So Um, do, 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 do. I've had Mario songs in my head a lot today, like the soundtrack, musical background stuff. And oh my goodness, what's wrong with my internet? It's making like so long. No, I don't. Stop it. What am I doing? How's your mom? Happy Mother's Day to me. Happy Mother's Day to me. Happy Mother's Day. Oh my gosh, I think I can't even sing that. Copyright stuff for everything. I'm trying to figure out how to share this screen, not the screen, the link that I'm streaming while I'm streaming, and I'm streaming. Oh my, it's going to be an echo. Copy. I'm going to edit this bitch down when it's all said and done with, because there is anybody watching me. Holy crap, you're probably like, get on with it, lady. I'm just going to do it. Girl, don't do it. Nah, I'm just thinking about it. I'm just going to, don't do it. Do it. Do it. So I'm going to start reading off people's questions because I'm bored. Oh, oh yeah. Got to get rid of that, don't you? No, not that one. All right. The question is, who's taking one for the team? Janine is MVP this episode. Someone wrote, it's okay, you like my eye patch. I think she actually said, I think my eye patch is cool. Someone actually also asked, is what I meant to say. So do y'all think June is going to put hands on Serena, or are they going to work together? And my response to that question was, no, they're both going to use each other until they get what they need and slap each other in the face. Oh, there's an incredible person saying that she's going to be live later talking about the Handmaid's Tale. That's me. All right. Oh yeah, there's all of these predictions and questions about who the father of Serena Joy's husband is, and my prediction is it is the guy from Canada. I prefer to call him Canada guy because that's what his real name is, but everyone prefers to call him Mark. So Mark he and Serena Joy are just too close with each other. That scene where they're like up against the windows and they're talking about the upcoming trial situation. What is it even? No, they're in trouble and they're going to see if their charges are going to be upheld, or I don't know what lawyer speak is. So you fill in the words there. But she just walks up to him at the window like she's someone who's been in his personal space before, if you know what I mean. I think it's him. I think they got together one of those times. Maybe it was time where they exchanged the cell phone. I think he treated her like a person and she was like, what's up? And then baby. Who else do you think it could be? I don't think it's Fred. Isn't there that whole theory, and not just the fan theory, but the whole reason that Serena suggested that Nick and June sleep together, because supposedly it's not the women that are barren, it's the men who are sterile. So how could he get her pregnant? I mean, it hasn't been proven, right? But how many times can you screw and not get pregnant and only look at one of the people involved and their biological resources? Yeah. So screw everyone. There were a lot better questions on here earlier. And I can't really find them now. This episode really left me heartbroken for June. Will there ever be a time she is sex slave? And I think that's kind of interesting because in this situation, I mean, I guess you could say she was, right? Because no, they had the freedom to leave. So I don't think slave is the correct term. But she didn't think she was going to have to be violated. Her body was going to have to be violated anymore to get anything that they needed. So this person is incorrect about the Handmaid's Tale. She wasn't a sex slave at that point. They had the freedom. Albeit, I'm not saying stuff is right or whatever. I'm just saying. All right, let's see if I can share enough. I guess I can't. That's going to go over well with my self-esteem. Kind of forgot what I was doing. Please stop. Talking to computers now. That's what I do. Why can't I share a link? Oh, so difficult. My life is so difficult. But not as difficult as June. I don't know why I burned her. It's a weird thing to do. It's a very, very weird thing to do. Well, as the name of the most recent episode of Handmaid's Tale was Milk, I think I may rename this live stream Spoiled Milk. because it's I'm actually enjoying myself. If it weren't so incredibly strange to just have a live stream talking to myself, I keep on doing it. In fact, I still might. Then I'll go back and watch myself sometimes because I need something to do when I'm um all right, I'm gonna keep reading. Why not screen share this mother again? Again, the one monitor shame. Rude. Okay, it did not lose my part. Can I get out of this little dude? Thank you. Distracting from my desperation. Throughout, June has a vague you're going to get to the front and find Mayday, who will help them. And if that sounds fuzzy to you, you're not alone. I literally am. Thank you for trolling me. Janine, oh, Janine presses June until she admits that she has no idea how to actually make any of that happen. And again, doppelganger. How many times have you crossed the line into that whole faking it till you make it where, okay, I have got to, I may not know what I'm doing, but stuff's happening, so I got to figure it out. And you just go to the next best step. And most of the time that works out okay. But sometimes we don't want to admit to ourselves, like, all right, it's time to switch plans here, or it's time to admit defeat. What I am trying is not working out. Because it can be scarier sometimes in a situation to not know what to do rather than something happening to you and knowing what to do and doing that head on. At least you have a game plan. At least you're not lost. You may be afraid, but you know what you have to do, or you know what you're about to encounter. When you don't, you're almost, that just seems almost more frightening than going through a terrifying experience. So those are my thoughts, man. And again, doppelganger having the conversation. Janine, June, same person, kind of. It's not like Fight Club, unless, do you think this whole time they're just going to make it where Janine has never been real and girl is just, she did lose it. June's always had one eye this whole time, and Janine's been her made up inner dialogue. Boom. I just rewrote the series for you. Everyone would be pissed as F at that. Hulu, don't do that. I don't think you want a bunch of angry people who enjoy this type of television series, fictional novel coming after you. Don't kill Janine. I think you can and don't make her not real. I even kill June and everybody would be devastated, heartbroken. I think we all kind of expect it, right? She's the Christ figure. She's gonna die. Janine, we almost came after you when you killed her pig. You killed Janine. We're gonna start saying red is ugly. So, yep, throughout June has had a very vague plan. Janine gets angrier. She's cold, tired. She goes for the big blow and says, at the farm, we didn't tell anybody, and everyone kept saying, you know, again, I think that's one of those times where everything's quiet in that submersive milk tank, and you kind of have to face yourself and face your own demons, and kind of, okay, we just got through the crisis. I did what I had to do, fought all the bad guys, got to safety, and now I'm going to have to admit to myself that everything that I just went through is my own fault. Who wants to have that conversation with themselves? I do on YouTube by myself, but most people don't. I'm not most people. Not any people. I'm alone. Actually, I'm one person. I have no idea what. So, at the farm, she makes sure June knows Alma was the one who told everyone they were going to wait for June, and it wound up getting them. They all loved you like a real, real love. And says of the dead handmaids, did you tell guys where to find us? And then June has to admit that she did, but it was because her torturers had Hannah, and she said you would have done the same thing. And June means like, nope, maybe I would have done something different. I guess is that why it's saying like it went to the story about the abortion that she went through. What that is symbolism that she is strong enough to sacrifice her own child. Is this like a thing about that dude in the Bible sacrifices his kid, or at least goes to, and God's like, nah, man, just kidding. Here's a ram, but good on you. You're my bro now. Remember that dude? What's his name? Mm-hmm. So June's like a Christ figure, and I'm gonna make my own literary term right now and say that Janine's a ram figure. I just invented something, and you saw it right before your eyes, no one. History, live in the making. You're on the Do Good Letters. I'm JC. Am I a Christ figure? Absolutely not. Initials are JC. God, I am joking. Please know that I am joking. Horrible joke. You did make me, so there's that. Please forgive me. I love you. Okay, we're good. Horrible joke. So yeah, it means like maybe I would have done something better. Something better, aka in the box, you're dead, my kid. It's easy. I've done this before. Kind of horrible, right? Was that the point of the abortion scene? I don't know. What do you think? Leave it in the comments down below. Bell, thumb, subscribe. Really, I'm glad. So Janine's like, we're going to the front of a refrigerator. You know that how submersive thing and water symbolism, rebirth, yada yada. Most of the time it's water, right? Who has seen a scene or read a part of a story where the symbolism of water or a liquid is milk? However, think about the contrast between the red and the white. I'm sure you could go on a whole symbolism spiral with that. Blood, innocence, colors, crayons, magic. I've been talking my good hour now. Okay, well, has an opinion. So let's go from one scene, the abortion, trigger warning, I guess I should say. To the no one that is watching. Where did it go? She talks to volunteer. We got all that. I think we're supposed to believe that Janine was trying to end the pregnancy that eventually became her son Caleb, whom we've heard about before. Oh, did I not get something? I mean, shocker. So that wasn't just her going back a couple days later to another clinic the first time. I did not gather that at all whatsoever. So she was talked out of the abortion the first time. And then that was a whole different pregnancy. Wow, I did not realize that at all. This person on tvline.com is smart. Let's see who the author is. Kimberly Roots. And I will also put the link to this and at least the live chat. So give you some more things to do while you're on the toilet. Oh my goodness, I want to make so many more videos. One day, I know you people out there. I mean, we chat about this stuff on the freaking subreddits. We chat about this stuff on Facebook. Just come talk to me. Let's just geek out over the hand. Okay? You're there. We're there. One of my friends would have been here, but her internet messed up. You know? It's the eye. It's Gilead. Her whole place is being taken over. It's gabbing. You're on your own. You know what I mean? Just on your own. Wow, that is incredible. I don't know how I didn't get those were two different pregnancies and two different moments in time. I thought she just went to another clinic a couple days later. Maybe watch that now. And we have read all of this. So again, I think we're supposed to believe that Janine was trying to end the pregnancy that eventually Caleb, biblical name. Who's related to Caleb in the Bible? Whom we've heard about before, but in a scene in her apartment that evening, we see that Caleb has been born and is a child point, and Janine is a really good mom to him. She's holding and clearly so in love with her little boy as she sings him Bob Marley's Three Little Birds before bed. This new pregnancy, as she told the volunteer, resulted from having sex with someone she's not attached to and would be a bad idea for everyone involved. The thing is, every time we think that Janine isn't going to have the wherewithal to do what needs to be done, she does. In the next scene, she finds an actual doctor who is an actual good person, willing to tell her the truth about the procedure she's contemplating. Janine still wants with it. The doc hands her some pills for a chemical abortion, explains what will happen, and that's that. Right, I'm not laughing at that. The next headline, I'm so glad I have this on the screen, is Janine saying he thinks my ad patch is cool. Just a second here. I am going to cough. Not sponsored, just obsessed. All right. He thinks my eye patch is cool. I was not laughing at the flaming a chemical abortion. I am not that freaking morbid and insensitive. The next quote right below that. So I blame the author, Rebecca or whatever your name is. He thinks my eye patch is cool. Back in the present, June and Janine's ride ends when the train comes under attack. Though Janine is scared, June points out that it is a thing if they're attacking a Gilead train. It's not Gilead. It's true. True it is. As it turns out, oh, I apologize. One with a machine gun, they're walking targets, they're on our side, and you're coming, June. Oh, because what did. If they're attacking a Gilead train, they're not Gilead. I'm missing where Janine's at. And thank you, advertisement. I mean, I understand you need to advertise, but I don't have to mess up my spot. There is, I feel like there's a whole paragraph that just keeps disappearing, probably because the eye doesn't want me to read it. Hmm. Okay. I'm talking to an imposter. It's really timely. So, talking about Rita. Ooh, I think there was a theory on a Facebook group about Handmaid's Tale that whenever Serena Joy was giving Rita the ultrasound, that it was a plan. She kind of planned for it all along, that she knew Rita was eventually going to give it to Fred. And I guess that could be, but I thought she really didn't want him to know. But I guess it would hurt him even more if he knew. But he was going to see her pregnant eventually, right? Unless they. Guess that would be her saving grace for a little bit too, not being killed for war crimes because she would be pregnant. Who knows? I don't know. This person in the chat, JCM, is really annoying. Maybe they should come on and talk to me about The Handmaid's Tale. Give like a husband's perspective. Why did my wife make me watch this crap? And why can't I stop watching? So, Serena and Rita talk. It was kind of sad and scary. Do some dictionary stuff right now. Let's do this. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna own my uneducated self. Right? Dictionary. Understand. I can't type either. What do you do when you can't type or spell and you don't know what a word is? It's a word. It's an adjective. So what Rita did was understandable, that she kind of went back in her ways with Serena Joy, called her ma'am, kind of bowed her head a little bit, had that same demeanor with her that she did when she was enslaved by her. And I found that kind of funny and cool, skipping to when Fred spoke with her, his shock and a nod to, I would say the past, but unfortunately I've heard people in the present say this. Him saying, basically, why are you acting this way towards me? We were always really good to you. We were always really kind to you. She couldn't leave. She was your slave. How in the world do you justify having someone's freedom and enslaving them by saying, I was nice to you? You weren't nice to me. You enslaved me. But that's something that has been said, particularly, well, we won't go all there. We're only talking about the Handmaid's Tale tonight. But yeah, conversations that have been had throughout history to present day about enslaved people in the past in America. But there were some slave owners that were nice. He taught them how to read and write and sold their babies. So why are you mad? Someone thinks they're particularly funny in the chat, but unfortunately, they're not. And I have power, uncool person who doesn't know YouTube that much, to delete comments. This person, JC, who is that, said that talking about being enslaved, that's been said about the construct of marriage. Yeah, I own you. You are correct. Remember that. Going back to Rita, Peta. Yeah, I just don't think that Serena Joy intentionally gave Rita the ultrasound, knowing and believing that she would give it to Fred because she wanted Rita to testify with and for her, to say that she was under duress this whole time and that Fred was an abuser. So how would using Rita to go back and give information to Fred that could be used against Serena in trial, like that would only hurt the abusive case. Like, why in the world would you sleep with me and get pregnant by me if you thought I was an abuser? I mean, there is the case, or the chance that she was not willing in making that baby. But I just don't understand how Fred getting the ultrasound would be what it's a square. Thank you. Probably use an emoji that can't show up on here or something. Yeah, she wants me to blame the commander. Remembering how she was the Waterford's property under Gilead's regime, registered and everything like my old Nissan Altima. She gives him the ultrasound when she later meets George. At the end of the hour, we see Rita sitting in the sun at her apartment, eating the most un-Gilead meal you could ever have, sushi and a diet soda. I feel like the sushi was supposed to have some more significance, like maybe Rita talked about that before and I just didn't get it. Obviously, if you've watched thus far, you understand there's a lot of things that I don't get. But wherever you go, there you are, right? With that being said, I have talked to myself minus the 5 gracious minutes that Suzanne was on here before her internet said, poo-poo on you, JC Do-Good-Letters. I have been talking to myself for about an hour, which honestly is nothing new in my real life, but is new for me on YouTube. I hope anybody rewatching this, specifically you, my husband, enjoys this. I really think I had some good points. I mean, I'm going to stick up for myself here. I'm going to be Janine and June in this situation. If you listen back through here, I have a lot of good points about symbolism, motifs, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Janine and June, inner dialogues we have with ourselves when things don't work out, the horrible things we say to each other, whole different issue. Say to ourselves, to blame ourselves, to beat ourselves up. You should have, would have, could have. And as someone wise that I know that's also very irritating has said, don't should all over yourself. And that's what June and Janine were doing to each other in a half empty moving barrel of milk. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. And I hope that you had something to do while you were on the toilet. Because nobody reads shampoo bottles anymore. It's a lost art. Maybe I'll start doing that on here too, because who else is watching this shit anyway? All right. Bye.